Let me start by saying, I'm not a skeptic. I've always believed that there's more to this world than what we can see. Spirits, energy, whatever you want to call it, I've felt it before. But nothing could have prepared me for what happened inside the house on Willow Creek Road. They say it's the most haunted house in America. I didn't believe that until I stayed there. It started as a challenge. A dare, really. A group of friends and I were filming a docu-series on paranormal locations, and someone threw out the idea, why don't you spend one night in the Willow Creek House, alone? I laughed it off at first. But when the camera was on and the bets were laid, pride got the better of me. Sure, I said. One night, how bad can it be? I wish I never said yes. Let me tell you what I knew going in. The Willow Creek House was built in 1886 by a man named Elijah Rourke, a wealthy railroad magnate. The legend goes that his wife, Miriam, went mad after the sudden death of their two children, both drowned in the nearby lake under mysterious circumstances. Miriam was never the same. She became reclusive, refused to eat, and eventually, according to the lore, she poisoned Elijah and then herself. Their bodies were found a week later, and that's just the beginning. In the decades that followed, the house changed hands a dozen times. Every owner reported something: shadows, voices, sudden cold spots. Some just abandoned it altogether. Others weren't so lucky. There were stories of people disappearing. A priest who tried to cleanse the house was found unconscious on the third floor, mumbling nonsense. It had a reputation, and I was about to test it. We arrived just before sunset. The house stood like a forgotten monument at the end of a long gravel driveway, surrounded by dead trees and silence. The front porch sagged, and the paint had long since peeled away, leaving gray, rotting wood behind. It was the kind of place you see in your nightmares, the kind that feels like it's watching you. I walked in with just a backpack, camera gear, flashlights, a sleeping bag, and some snacks. The crew stayed outside. No one wanted to join me. Can't say I blamed them. Inside, the air was thick. Not dusty, just heavy, like it didn't want me there. I set up a few stationary cameras and wore a body cam for the rest. Every creak of the floor, every rustle of wind outside felt amplified, like the house was listening. Watching. Waiting. The first hour was quiet. I walked through the rooms narrating for the camera. The living room still had furniture, faded and draped in white sheets. An old piano sat in the corner, keys yellowed with age. I touched one. It let out the most pitiful sound, like something exhaling its last breath. I moved on. The dining room was cold. Noticeably colder. I checked my thermal cam. The temperature had dropped nearly 15 degrees from the hallway. That was the first moment I felt it. Not heard, not saw, just felt it. Like something brushing against me, like walking through a web you can't see. At around 11:47 p.m., I heard the first sound that wasn't me. It was upstairs, a slow, dragging noise. Not footsteps. Not quite. Something being pulled. I froze. Every instinct told me to run, to leave. But I forced myself up the staircase, flashlight shaking in my hand. The hallway upstairs was darker than the rest of the house. My flashlight started flickering the moment I reached the top step. I thought it was just bad batteries, until I realized the camera's night vision was glitching too. Static. Like something was interfering. I followed the noise to the last room on the left. The door was cracked open. I pushed it gently and entered what looked like a nursery. The wallpaper was peeling, but you could still make out the faded drawings: rabbits, stars, clouds. A mobile hung from the ceiling, completely still. Then it moved. Slowly, like something had just brushed it. I backed up, heart pounding. That's when the whisper started. Soft. Childlike. Play with me. It wasn't in my head. The audio captured it. Clear as day. A little girl's voice. I spun around. No one was there. I felt this icy pressure on my neck, like fingers grazing my skin. And then the door slammed shut. I screamed. I don't care how brave you think you are. When that door slammed, I lost it. I rushed to pull it open, but it wouldn't budge. Then the mobile above me started spinning violently, like it was caught in a storm. And the room grew darker. Not like the lights dimming, darker, as if the shadows were swallowing the light. I pounded on the door, screaming for help until, just like that, it opened. The hallway was empty. Silent. I ran downstairs, not even pretending to be brave anymore. I just needed air. Space. Sanity. I collapsed onto the living room couch, breathing hard, heart racing. That's when I saw it, on the camera screen. One of the static cams had picked up movement in the hallway. A figure. Tall. Thin. Barefoot. And it wasn't me. I watched, shaking, as the figure moved from one end of the hallway to the other, then disappeared into the wall. I rewound it. Watched it again. Same thing. Over and over. My blood ran cold. Then the piano played. Just one note. I swear to you, I didn't move. I didn't breathe. I just sat there staring at the keys, waiting. It played again, this time 3 notes, slow and deliberate. I stood up, camera in hand, and approached it. That's when I saw her. In the mirror above the fireplace, not in the room, just the mirror. A woman in a black dress, eyes hollow, skin pale. She stared at me, her mouth open in a silent scream. I turned, expecting to see her behind me, but there was nothing. I turned back to the mirror. She was gone. At that point, I was done. I didn't care about the challenge, the cameras, the bets. I needed out. I grabbed my stuff and ran to the front door. It wouldn't open. It wasn't locked, it just wouldn't open. Like it had become part of the wall. Then I heard it again. The dragging sound. But this time it was coming down the stairs. Slow. Heavy. Getting closer. I turned, flashlight flickering again, and aimed it at the staircase. There was something there. It wasn't a shadow. It wasn't a person. It was wrong. Like it didn't belong in this world. Its limbs were too long. Its movements unnatural. Twisting. Jerking. It crawled, dragging itself toward me, one arm broken and limp, its mouth open like it was trying to scream but couldn't. I backed away, tripping over the rug, dropping my camera. And then, nothing. No sound. No creature. The front door creaked open by itself. I didn't hesitate. I ran. Full speed. Didn't look back once. The crew found me outside, pale, drenched in sweat, eyes wild. I tried to explain, but I couldn't get the words out. They thought I was faking, until we reviewed the footage. The figure in the hallway. The nursery door slamming. The voice. The woman in the mirror. The thing on the stairs. It was all there. Every frame. We didn't release the full footage. Some of it, we just couldn't. Not because it was too scary, but because we didn't want whatever was in that house to follow anyone else. Some things aren't meant to be seen. Some doors should stay closed. It's been over a year since that night, but I still don't sleep right. I see things out of the corner of my eye. I hear footsteps in my hallway at 3 a.m. Sometimes I find the piano music playing on my phone, and I never downloaded it. Once I woke up with the word "stay" scratched into my bedroom wall. I live alone. I don't talk about this often. Honestly, part of me hoped that telling the story would help. Maybe give me closure. But if you're watching this, please understand something. That house doesn't want visitors. It wants residents. And if you go in, you might not be the one who walks out.